Hi friends, it's Julia. I'm here to share a layout that I created using my November 2014 Counterfeit Kit Challenge Kit. Yes, November 2014, and yes, I know it's 2016. So, I've had this kit sitting on my shelf for a very long time. I pulled it down this year with the intention of getting it used up. So, what I decided to do was to create a gift album for either my mom or my father-in-law. One of those two. You know, they are older and you can't buy them anything new. So you have to give them something that it is not from the store. And so for me, I give them a scrapbook album of our family every year. So with this album, I decided to use this November 2014 kit. I pulled all the papers together, coordinated them all together so that whatever I created, whether it be 12 by 12 layouts for my own albums or a gift album, that it would be cohesive. And so you can see I've pulled in 8.5 by 11 cardstock because the layouts that I create for them, the albums that I create for them, are 8.5 by 11. So what I typically do excuse me, is I create this album throughout the year, and at the end of the year I will typically add photos in, like the first part of December. I'll go through the whole year's photos, so all of 2016 photos will go into this kit, or into this album. And so it works out fairly well. Some years I have more pictures than others, so I use layouts that or use sketches that have lots of photos. But typically I use 8.5 by 11 sketches from Page Maps. Excuse me. And they have their sketches where you have two 8.5 and 11 sketches side by side. So what I've done this year, and this is a little bit different because I will typically only have one layout at a time on my desk working on it. What I decided to do this year, rather than make them separate layouts or make them individually, I decided, okay, I'll put both the pieces of paper down here, both the pieces of cardstock, and I'll start building them side by side and use the same papers so that they coordinate. They're not geared to go together on the sketches, and they're not geared to go together in the album, but if I want to put them next to each other, I can. And so what I've done, and this hasn't been consistent throughout this entire process of making these layouts. I've made 20 pages, and I didn't do process videos for all of them, naturally. And so towards the end, this is the process that I came up with to kind of help me speed the process along. And I'm thinking it's working pretty good. Each of the layouts in the sketches has anywhere from 1 to 4 photos, sometimes a few more, and that works out pretty consistently throughout the entire album. And a lot of times what I like to do is some months I have more photos than others to pull into the album, and I don't put month dates on the album. I will date when the picture came, but I don't make it like these are January photos, these are February. I kind of sequence them through the year. And I always try and put the date that the photos were taken on the layouts, or just, even if I don't, to know that all of these photos came from 2016 is typically enough for me. At some point, my children are going to inherit these albums, and I want them to know that these are the layouts that came from 2016. And so that's typically what I do. Sorry, I have a squeaky chair today. Well, it's every day. It's my office chair. It's completely squeaky. Oh, squirrel, sorry. So you can see in this album, on these 2 pages, I am inking the edges of the pattern paper, all of it. I don't ink the outline of the base cardstock, but I do all the pattern paper. And this is kind of the thing that I've been on a kick with this year, is inking. Excuse me. And this album, there's not going to be that consistency throughout the album. I will have consistent embellishments and stickers and papers throughout the album, but not inking. I haven't inked on every single layout that I created for this album. And I will try when I get to the end of the year and I put photos in these album. I have 2 albums now. When I get photos in these albums, I will try and remember to take photos of them and then do a process video to kind of walk you through how everything looks once it's all together and all in the album. But I have to remember to do that. That's not always an easy thing since it's August, the start of August now. And yeah, Christmas is still, what, 5 months away? So, I'm getting along with the process here. And I've pulled in that stripe paper is one of my coveted chatterbox papers. And I've pulled it in. And that paper that I just had in my hand, the yellow paper, is actually the B side of an older Close to My Heart paper. And I didn't pull in a Close to My Heart kit to build this collection with for my November kit. It's just one that I had taken the kit apart. I only had like a couple of pieces of paper left, and so I had put them into my stash. That's what I used to do. Now I leave all the kits together until it's completely done and, and only just scrap paper. So I have the sketches side by side and I'm building them up. Don't know what I'm doing here. I think I cut an edge off or something. But you can see those little tiny scraps up around the top of the layouts. I hang on to those because I typically will get some sort of use throughout the process of creating layouts. Sometimes I will make pennants with them. Sometimes I will use it to back other things. Sometimes I just need a little edge for something, and so I hang on to those little bits and pieces of scraps until I'm done with the kit. Once I'm completely done, then I'm good to go. I throw them out and I don't have any. Keep the ones that I want to keep, because there's some pieces of paper that I will keep until I use every little tiny scrap. And believe me, when I go back through my scrap bags, my scrap bins, I pull out those pieces of paper and I use them. Some of them I do give to my grandchildren and let them cut up and punch out and stamp on and, glue down. And I'm okay with that. That's fine. But I always keep the ones that I want to use. So here I am, I'm laying all the pieces down, getting everything glued down, and that grayish green piece is also another chatterbox paper, and it was a scrap. All the pieces on this layout are all scraps. Even that stripe paper, it looked like it was a full 12 by 12 when I pulled it in, but I'd already cut a strip or two off of it. And so as I'm going through and building the layout, another thing that I do is I go through my cream colored cardstock or my white colored cardstock, depending on the feel of the kit that I put together to create these albums with. And I didn't realize ahead of time that I was going to be creating an album with this kit. But it's all cream based. And so what I did when I got ready to build this album is I went through my cream and light tan scrap pieces, and I pulled out a ton of them, and I cut them down into standard sizes, like 2 by 3.5 or 2 by 4 or 4 by 4 or 5 by 4 or 6 by 4. I cut them down into those sizes. And I mean, I have tiny ones too. I have 2 by 2 pieces. And so I mark up what each piece is, and then I put it throughout, or stack them all together, so as I'm creating the pages, I know, okay, this calls for 2 photos, I can use these 2 here. And a lot of them may call for more, or call for less, and I add more. Like the one on the right side, I think it actually called for 2 photos, and here I am, I've got these 4 smaller pieces, so I'm going to have the ability to place 4 photos on there. When it's time to add the photos, I don't necessarily use these pieces of paper as border mats. Sometimes I'll cut the photos to the exact size of the mat so that it will cover it completely and you won't see it. And this is something I've learned to do. Excuse me. I've been doing this now for about, I want to say 7 or 8 years. So this is a process that I know works for me, and it speeds the process up when I get to December. So here I am, I'm looking, am I going to use any of my stamps that I pulled into this kit? Because I pulled in 4 different stamp sets to this kit. And I'm looking to see if I'm going to use any of the images there. And so I kind of go through as I'm doing this, and I pull in embellishment by embellishment. Okay, let me start with stamps. Am I going to use anything there? Let me start with my larger sticker sheets. Am I going to use anything there? Let me pull out this chipboard set. Am I going to use anything off of it? And so I kind of look around, and I may, I may put something there, audition it, and then change my mind later. And I'm okay with that. You know, it's a process for everybody to use their stash and their embellishments and their kits however they choose to, or create their layouts however they choose to. And this is kind of my way of doing it. It works for me. It may not work for other people. You can see by the amount of stuff that I've got over to the side, this is a huge kit. Huge kit. I don't know what I was thinking when I created it. The inspiration kit, and I used the Counterfeit Kit Challenge kit from November 2014. Whichever one they selected was the one that I decided to use as my inspiration. And I believe it was probably one of those kits that, you know, had the add-on kit, the color kit, the embellishment kit. It had the Project Life kit. It had all of these different pieces to it, and I combined it all into one huge kit. And I wonder if when people subscribe to those kit clubs, if they truly get, you know, all of those, all of the different pieces, if their kits turn out this massive. And you can see here I'm adding a rub-on, and I didn't look at the top of that. I think it still had the maybe Melissa Francis rub-on. Anyway, very pretty rub-ons, and they still worked, which surprised the heck out of me. But I've had them in a zip top bag. I have one of those 6x12 zip top bags, and I keep a lot of rub-ons in those for each of my color categories in my stash or in my sticker drawer. Sometimes I keep my rub-ons there, sometimes in my color bins. But you can see it went on beautifully. You know, some places I had to mash extra hard to get it to come off the carrier sheet, but it worked. So I'm looking to see, okay, I've got rub-ons on one side. Do I want to put rub-ons on the other side? I don't have to make my layouts matchy-matchy when I do it like this, but I like to take the same type of embellishment and carry it from one page to the next. And you can see here I'm putting a few rub-ons on this page as well. And this tool that I'm using, I don't remember who makes that, and I've had it for a good long time. The plastic piece on the end, I feel like sometimes if the rub-ons aren't easy and you have to put a little extra pressure behind it to get them off, if they don't come off the carrier sheet easily, then I find that I will bend that. If I use it straight down on the paper, I will bend that plastic part. Yes, it is a very firm plastic, and yes, I have a lot of pressure behind it. But I've learned to use that little roller ball end a lot, and so that helps in getting some of these down. Oh, that may have been a Heidi Grace. I can't tell completely. Plus the fact that I'm doing this without my glasses. My glasses are in the other room. Having some problems with that, as a matter of fact, not being able to see up close with my glasses on. I guess that's something that happens when you get to your middle years. You lose the ability to accommodate your sight to close up and far away. I've always had problems with distance, so I've always worn glasses for distance, because about 2 foot out from my face and I can't see. Everything is a blur. Here recently, I've learned that with my glasses on, I can't see 6 inches in front of my face. So I take them off a lot and lay them down wherever. And I think this time they're actually in the kitchen. I think when I got up, I walked into the kitchen, made myself a cup of coffee, and needed to look at something in the on my tablet, and so I laid them down, and just when I came into my office, I never picked them back up. Anyway, that was another squirrel. Sorry. You can see I used one of those basic gray clear stickers to go down the edge of that right-hand photo. Oh, and you can see I changed times. The other one I was scrapping at night. This one I'm scrapping, it must have been like a Saturday or Sunday, so I'm working on scrapbooking during the day now. The lighting has changed significantly. So here I am. I have some additional embellishments on, and I have those on the left sheet, or the left side. I have the big florals, the tag, and then on the right side I believe it's a flower or a butterfly. Well, those are all like canvasy type stickers. Excuse me. And so I took some spray mist, and I want to say it was chartreuse, the Heidi Swap kind, and I sprayed them down, and then I took a little bit of brown and I sprayed around the tags while they were still a little bit damp with the green. And so it kind of just ever so gently like crept into the green a little bit, and I love how they turned out. And so I'm still going through my stickers and still going through my different embellishments, and I've not pulled out a whole great deal of supplies to use. I had some little black bling pearlized kind of flower stickers that I used inside each of the flowers on the right and then the one on the left. I can't tell if that's a butterfly, or I think it's a flower. Kind of looks like a butterfly from here where I'm looking, but like I said, I'm partially blind. And I'm going through and I'm just seeing, okay, what am I going to use and where am I going to use it? Oh my goodness, I pulled off a little tiny piece of border strip there. It was a clear background with a colored little scallop on it, I believe, and put it down on there. I can't really see it now, but in the layout, I remember thinking, oh, that is so soft and so subtle. So I've got these little cork pieces and chipboard pieces and lots of stickers, and I've got rub-ons. Oh my gosh. And that's a piece I had just put back, a piece that I had pulled out and interviewed for another layout and didn't use it, and so I put it back on that little carrier sheet. More stickers. These are word stickers, and I have a word sticker down on the bottom of the left, bottom of the right layout, and it says hip hip hooray, and then the one on the other side says good times. Oh yeah, and I see a heart there too. It's one of those craft colored hearts. I believe it was from the Target dollar spot, that I have added in again and again and again to my layouts and just haven't used. And I'm pulling out more stickers to give them a go. I'm telling you, this kit was huge. And so I've kind of decided, okay, do I want to add in some stickers from here? And I did. I added that one that said home. And you can see I have two of the same sticker sheet that I've used a little bit off of both of them, and I just have them paper clipped together in my stash. And so that's a bit of a little tab left over, and so I put it right there at the top, and it says play, maybe? Yeah, play. And I'm just still trying things out. And I don't necessarily want the word that was on there. It said comfy. I just wanted the color of the sticker. And so I cover up the word with the tag, and I'm just placing it down in there. And I like that because it has the yellow, that I have that one little strip of yellow on the left page, but I have a lot of yellow because I have that whole big section of yellow on the right page. And so it pulls in just a tiny bit more yellow. And so I'm still looking around, deciding what I'm going to use, where I'm going to use it. And so I'm debating if I'm going to use that down there with these other two stickers. And I typically, once I put something down, I always say to myself, pick it and stick it. I don't typically go back and peel things up. But here recently, yeah, I've been doing it a lot. So looking through, thinking, am I going to add anything else as far as these stickers go? I kind of break my layouts into sections. I'll start with the background papers and then consider stickers, textured stickers and regular stickers. And then here I have that little tiny piece of washi tape left. And I will sometimes add washi at the very beginning, and sometimes I wait to this point to add the washi down. So once I get past putting all the stickers down, then I get to my more textured embellishments and washi tapes. And so that's pretty much where I'm at now. I'll also include ribbon in this section if I have ribbon in my kit, and I do. This kit had a lot of ribbon. I pulled out a lot of scraps of ribbon to use, and I have used quite a bit, more than I actually thought I would. And I've kept it out and kept going with it. Hopefully I will get all of the little pieces used up that I pulled in. And these are little clear acetate pieces or acrylic pieces, and they're hard to use because they're so very clear. There's nothing to them. What I've done in the past is I've inked up one side of them to give them a little bit more texture. And here I am again. I'm looking, what do I have? And I peel that flare back up and add that, I think it started out life as a paper clip, maybe a rose paper clip, and I think I broke the clip piece off the back of it. And so I have a lot of clips out, and I'm kind of looking around, what am I going to use? And how am I going to attach them down? So what I do is I get my glue dots out, because I find these work great for metal pieces. And I've gone back into my albums years and years later, and they're still stuck down with the glue dots. Whereas if I use a liquid glue, almost always it'll come loose later in life. And so I just laid those scissors on top of that. It was kind of warped a little bit. I laid the scissors on top and mashed them down so very severely to kind of straighten that piece out because it was so warped. And it's still kind of wobbly, so I'm putting on extra glue dots behind there. And so then I'm looking to see, okay, what else do I have and where can I use it? And so I have that clip there, and I think it's an old Close to My Heart or an old Basic Gray. I don't really remember now. But I think it's Basic Gray. I add that one there, and I'm still looking because I'd like to use some more of these clips. And so since I added one at the top, I thought, oh, I think this one just has like a little floral image. I thought, oh, okay, I will add another one to the bottom. And so I'm liking how that's looking. And my photos, whether or not I leave a border on the photos with the mats, I kind of think I will cut the photos to the same size as the mats when I get ready to put them in, but we'll see. And it's going to have those cute little clips coming out of there. Or if I wanted to add one photo across two of the squares there on the right side, I can do that as well. I'm not I'm not stuck on, or not married to the fact that I need to put, 4 photos down. I can still put 2 photos down. Here I have some of those enamel dots from Paper Studio, Hobby Lobby, and they have like a crystallized texture on the top of them, or a faceted texture on the top of them. They are so pretty, and they come in these great colors, and they almost look like they're distressed, if you will. And so I'm just adding some of those around the layout. And that's going to really do it. That's the finishing touch there. And I'm just looking around to see where else I'm going to put them. Anyway, like I said, I'll try to remember to do a flip through of this album when I get closer to Christmas, and hopefully I'll remember to, once I get the photos added in, to create a video share. Anyway, thanks for sticking around and watching my video today, friends, and I will see you on the next video. Have a blessed day.